Apple has done it once again. It successfully launched a bunch of features that have already been existing on the Android platform, and somehow it made them look cooler, or at least that's what the internet wants you to believe. First things first, let's start with iOS 18. Did you know that Apple users can now customize their home screens? And this includes changing the app icon sizes. Not only that, they can also use a single color theme for all app icons. Users can also move around app icons and place them wherever they want to. So basically what Android users have been doing since the beginning of time. And the funny thing is that phones like Pixel have been doing this for some time now, and brands like Nothing have made this monochromatic user interface part of their core identity. And Apple just wakes up one morning and walks in casually and drops this update and sort of makes it irrelevant. Then there's categorization in email. iPhone users can now label their email and make their emails more organized. So basically what Gmail has been doing for a long time. The control center can also be customized now, unlike before. Now the control center can be customized. Basically, again, what Android has been doing for a long time. Users can also increase or decrease the size of a widget. Genmoji or generative emoji, as I mentioned earlier, for those who can't seem to find the perfect emoji for the situation, now all you have to do is put in the prompt, and the phone's diffusion model will create the perfect emoji based on your prompts. Yes, so I guess that's fun. AI photo editing, or as Apple calls it, cleanup. Remember when Pixel introduced the Magic editor, and when earlier this year during the S24 Ultra launch, they showed Galaxy AI, where you can just remove objects and reframe the image and use Gen AI to fill in the gaps. That's exactly what the cleanup tool does, except they didn't show us the reframing and filling up of the gaps. They just showed us how users can now remove unnecessary background objects and images to make them even better. iPhone mirroring. Apple has made the mirroring feature in the iPhone more seamless now. iPhone users can now access the entire interface of the iPhone on their Macs. See, you have to give credit where it's due. This is indeed one of those features that Apple has executed marvelously. Although Android phones have a similar feature in the form of link to Windows, Samsung also has been doing things on similar lines. But this feature in the Apple iOS and the Mac OS is actually good. A new, improved, better Siri. Yes, Siri has finally taken shape like it was supposed to years back. Siri seems to have finally become what it was originally meant to be. Siri is now more intelligent than ever, as now it can comprehend source, context, and process information on device based on your text and voice inputs. Many of you would already know that Siri has fallen behind as far as virtual assistants are concerned. First it was the Google Assistant, then it was Alexa, but now I think with Apple's new Gen AI models and diffusion models, Siri can actually be one key element in the entire Apple ecosystem that makes the overall experience much better. Some of the new information that we received from this event was that now Siri has a new interface. Apart from the basic tasks that Siri already used to do, Siri can now do a wide gamut of complex activities. It's almost like Siri has a new brain now. This is actually a great time to use AirPods. If by chance you do use AirPods, you can now accept or reject calls just by nodding your head. You also get spatial audio during gaming and voice isolation during calls for better audio. Photos app has also gotten a major redesign. The Photos app will now make photo search and organization much better. You can put in a prompt and look for photos based on the clothes of the person, the activity he or she is doing. Users can also look for videos based on the action they're doing. Again, you can also ask Siri to locate an important photo, like the photo of your driver's license, or in our case, our PAN card, Aadhaar card, or voter ID card. Okay, enough about Siri and AI. A very crucial feature, a very important feature that users have been demanding for a long time now. Apple very subtly mentioned RSC. Yes, Apple will now support RSC messages. And not only this, Apple will also support satellite messaging. So if you are off the grid and you have no network, you can now send messages via satellite. Yes, Now, this is an actually cool feature. Last but not the least, in this series of iOS updates, users can now also lock and hide certain apps. So I guess if you have something to hide and if you don't want people to see certain apps on your phone, you can not only lock them with a password, you can also hide them in a folder that will be invisible to other people. Now, coming to the iPad, there were some features that really stood out for me, and one of them was definitely the calculator app. Yes, finally, iPad users will be able to use a giant calculator on their giant iPad. Now, as much as you want to make fun of Apple and banter it hard for waiting so long to introduce the calculator app on the iPad, you should try to understand that that's not all of it. With the calculator app comes a very good handwriting recognition, which I'm pretty sure is also powered by AI. iPad users can now use the Apple Pencil to write down the mathematical problems, and the calculator app will give you the answer. Yes, in real time. Now, that is very impressive. The calculator app can essentially comprehend mathematical problems through handwriting. Not only can you solve mathematical problems by writing them down, you can also adjust equations in real time and get answers in real time. The app also supports variables. So in practicality, if a math problem has multiple variables, X, Y, Z, H, A, B, C, you can put the variables in writing and get an answer. The calculator app can also show you the graph for that equation. Say what you will about this, but credit where it's due, this is truly amazing. The list does not stop here. iPad users can now also remotely control other users' iPads through permission. It is very similar to what AnyDesk does for Windows PCs. This update is quite good because it offers a lot of utility. Again, the handwriting recognition in the calculator app is without a doubt some form of an AI model, and a very accurate AI model, must I say. There were other updates as well, like the watchOS update and the new Apple visionOS 2.0 update. The visionOS 2.0 update seemed a bit odd. It hasn't even been half a year since the Vision Pro made its debut in the market, and we already have a visionOS 2.0 update. As many prominent tech writers and critics already mentioned, that it's more like a visionOS 1.2 update rather than a 2.0 update, but it is what it is. Essentially, people will now get more environments in their Vision Pro glasses. They get train support now, and most importantly, they get double the resolution than what they used to, which is basically equivalent of two massive 4K screens lined up side by side. Again, it does add utility, does add value to the overall experience, but there's nothing groundbreaking, and I guess Apple just wanted to make the overall experience of the Vision Pro better and just keep it relevant. The one feature, the one update that definitely stole the spotlight at the WWDC 2024 was Apple Intelligence. In a very typical Apple manner, Apple tried to rebrand or reinvent what we know as artificial intelligence and name it Apple Intelligence. But on a serious note, I think the real magic of Apple's Apple Intelligence AI was in the fact that this time around, the company's strategy lies in making Apple devices look easier to use rather than going on and on about the technical aspects of its large language models. The only time that Apple did mention anything remotely technical was when they wanted to assure users about the privacy concerns. Apple is also positioning its platforms as a neutral ground for third-party LLMs, announcing a partnership with OpenAI for ChatGPT 4, which works privately without requiring users to actually log in their OpenAI accounts. This move made it abundantly clear that Apple is taking on its competitors, not by making its own AI models open to the public, but by partnering with already established behemoths like OpenAI. They also did signal that it may add support for Google's Gemini models, which does sound promising in the overall picture, but not sure what's happening there. Now, you see, Apple has already been using AI features on its devices for a long time now, and it has also had neural engines on its chips for some time. In this event at the WWDC, what Apple did manage to do successfully was that, number one, they acknowledged the fact that AI is inevitable and it is the way to go forward for big tech. it's the next logical step of progression. And number two, which is basically a follow-up to the previous step, is that they announced a bunch of AI-powered features to an already vast and gargantuan user base. So I think what is left to see is, first of all, how are they perceived? How do users react to them? And how it goes without saying that Apple already has a huge edge when it comes to AI, despite being late to the overall AI race, thanks to its vast and massive user base that will happily take whatever Apple gives it. All these updates are set to roll out in the coming months. Hope you like the video. For more such content, keep following BWTV and BW Business World. My name is Deep. I'll see you next time.